He told his wife to leave with nothing, no money, no belongings, nothing at all. Imagine standing in a courtroom, feeling the weight of betrayal, as the person you trusted most tries to erase you from your life. That's exactly what happened to Sarah, a devoted wife who never saw the storm coming. The tension in the courtroom was thick, every eye fixed on her husband, who seemed determined to strip her of everything. But just as the judge was about to call the case, the doors swung open, and in walked someone nobody expected: her brother, a powerful CEO known for his sharp mind and fierce protection of family. Whispers rippled through the room. Even the lawyers paused, sensing that this day was about to change in ways no one could predict. Sarah's heart raced, caught between fear and hope, knowing her brother's arrival could turn the tide or make things even more complicated. In that moment, the courtroom felt smaller, charged with suspense, as everyone waited to see what would happen next. The story of betrayal, family loyalty, and a shocking courtroom twist was just beginning, and the next moments would leave everyone stunned. Do you want me to continue and draft the next part that keeps the suspense going? Sarah had always believed in love, in loyalty, in the life she and her husband were building together. They had shared dreams, quiet nights, and plans for the future, but cracks had been forming quietly, almost invisibly. She never imagined it would come to this: a courtroom filled with tension, her husband coldly demanding she walk away with nothing. Friends and family had warned her, but she brushed it off, thinking love could overcome anything. Now, sitting on the edge of the wooden bench, she felt the weight of every choice she had made. Her husband, calm and calculating, seemed to enjoy the power he held in that room. Every word he spoke was sharp, precise, as if rehearsed to hurt her most. And yet, just when it seemed she had no allies, her brother appeared, a man whose reputation alone could make even seasoned lawyers pause. He didn't rush to her side or speak immediately. Instead, he simply stood there, quiet but commanding, letting the courtroom feel the presence of someone who wouldn't let injustice pass unnoticed. Sarah's mind raced with questions. Why had her brother decided to show up now? What could he possibly do in a room full of legal firepower? The suspense hung in the air, thick and electric, leaving everyone, including Sarah herself, wondering who would make the next move. The courtroom was buzzing with quiet tension. As Sarah tried to steady her nerves, her husband's lawyer had already laid out a case designed to make her look weak, unprepared, and undeserving. Each argument was like a calculated strike, and she could feel the weight of judgment pressing down from every direction. She wanted to speak, to defend herself, but words caught in her throat. Every glance at her husband brought a fresh wave of disbelief. How could someone she loved so deeply become so ruthless? Meanwhile, her brother remained a silent force, observing everything with a sharp, calculating gaze. Sarah knew he had the resources, the influence, and the legal power to challenge the claims against her, but she also knew this wouldn't be simple. He wasn't here to make a scene. He was here to strategize, to protect, and to ensure the truth had a chance to come out. Beyond the courtroom, whispers started circulating: old family secrets, rumors of hidden agreements, and past betrayals that nobody had fully understood until now. Sarah realized that this fight wasn't just about money or possessions. It was about respect, dignity, and exposing layers of deceit she had only just begun to uncover. As the judge called for the next witness, the air felt heavier. Every eye in the room was on her husband, and on her brother. Every second seemed to stretch, leaving Sarah and the audience alike holding their breath, wondering what shocking revelation would surface next. The courtroom felt tighter with every passing minute, as if the walls themselves were closing in. Sarah's heart pounded so loudly she feared everyone could hear it. Her husband leaned back in his chair, a small, confident smile playing on his lips, clearly believing he had already won. His lawyer presented document after document, each one intended to make Sarah's position seem weaker, more hopeless. Every word they spoke felt like a hammer striking at her future, and for a moment, she feared there was no way out. Then her brother spoke for the first time, his voice calm but carrying an authority that made the room fall silent. He didn't argue yet. He simply observed, letting the tension build, letting her husband feel the weight of someone who wouldn't back down. Sarah watched him closely, feeling a flicker of hope, but also realizing that this battle would not be easy. Witnesses were called, secrets began to surface, and the courtroom became a stage for layers of betrayal and hidden truths. Every revelation made the stakes higher. Every glance exchanged between her husband and her brother charged with unspoken threats. Sarah could feel the climax approaching, the moment when all the tension, all the anger, all the secrets would collide. She sat frozen, heart racing, knowing that the next few minutes could change everything forever, but also terrified of what those moments might bring. Just when the tension seemed unbearable, the courtroom doors opened again, and an unexpected figure stepped in: a former business partner of Sarah's husband, someone rumored to know every hidden deal and secret agreement. Murmurs spread like wildfire as everyone realized this witness could change the game entirely. Sarah's heart skipped a beat. She hadn't expected anyone else to step forward, and now the stakes had skyrocketed. The partner's testimony began cautiously, hinting at agreements and transactions that contradicted everything Sarah's husband had claimed. Each sentence sent subtle shockwaves through the room, forcing the lawyers to pause and rethink their strategy. Her husband's confident demeanor started to falter, a shadow of doubt crossing his face for the first time. Meanwhile, her brother leaned forward, eyes narrowing. Fully aware of the leverage this new testimony could provide, Sarah felt a rush of conflicting emotions: relief, fear, anticipation. She realized the battle wasn't just about leaving with nothing anymore. It had become a fight for truth, reputation, and justice. Whispers turned to questions, glances became calculated, and the tension built higher than ever. Every person in the room seemed to sense that the next revelation could completely shift the balance, leaving everyone, especially Sarah, on the edge of a dramatic turning point. The courtroom fell into a tense silence as the final witness finished speaking. The documents and testimonies painted a picture completely opposite of what Sarah's husband had claimed. His confident smirk vanished, replaced by a tightening jaw and darting eyes that betrayed panic. The judge leaned forward, carefully reviewing the evidence, while Sarah sat frozen, heart pounding, waiting for justice to take its course. Her brother finally spoke, calmly but firmly presenting the undeniable proof of deception and manipulation. Every word landed like a hammer, dismantling her husband's arguments piece by piece. The room seemed to hold its breath as the judge asked the critical question that would determine the outcome. Sarah's husband tried to respond, but the mounting evidence left him cornered, and for the first time, he seemed truly powerless. When the judge finally delivered the verdict, it was a relief and a shock. At the same time, Sarah was granted everything she had been unfairly denied, a vindication she had feared might never come. But just as she exhaled in relief, a note was slipped across the courtroom table to her brother. His eyes widened as he read it, revealing that someone else, someone no one had expected, had been quietly involved all along, a hidden player whose actions could change everything again. Sarah realized the battle for truth had ended, but the ripples of this story were far from over. After the verdict, the courtroom seemed to exhale as if the tension had been holding its breath for hours. Sarah stood slowly, feeling a mix of relief and exhaustion wash over her. She looked at her husband, who now avoided her gaze, realizing that his attempts to take everything from her had completely backfired. Her brother stayed by her side, a quiet pillar of strength, but his eyes still held that flash of concern from the mysterious note. Outside the courtroom, family and friends surrounded Sarah, offering hugs and congratulations. She finally understood the true power of support, honesty, and standing up for oneself even when the odds seemed impossible. The twists, the betrayals, and the courtroom drama had tested her in ways she never imagined, but she emerged stronger, more aware of who she could trust, and determined to rebuild her life on her own terms. As for her husband, the consequences of his actions were clear. He had lost more than money. He had lost respect, trust, and the chance to reconcile. Sarah's brother, still holding the mysterious note, promised to protect the family, hinting that while the main battle was over, life would continue with lessons learned. In the end, Sarah realized that resilience, courage, and family loyalty were her true victories, leaving her ready to embrace a future full of hope and strength.